This week's reading was Luke 19 through
24.
and Psalms 42 through 67. Vincent couldn't be here. Jacob, thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
Mrs. Super Oz will ask the questions after the open rolls, and we'll go over the questions for this week's reading. What is the first question?
How many times this week have you made moves when you should have been still?
So I don't know if I should have been still this week, but I wasn't. Because in the week before, I was bestowed upon information via the company that I wouldn't be moving forward with the advancement I had been working toward. And so this week, I have begun shopping around or seeing what kind of options are out there. Because when you are in the same position for almost 5 years, going on 5 years, something like that, and you keep hitting a ceiling or you just can't advance, there comes a time when it's not financially viable to stay in the same place. Well, and here's the fact is, I'm not sure that I'll leave, but I definitely want to see what the options are as far as other companies and if they see me as a valuable asset, because you and I both know that, I mean, heck, you too, you've been there. Everybody in this room knows that the company looks to me for far more than what my actual role entails, but because they know me from the 7 years that I've been there, there are clear assumptions that the company makes about where I stand, or where the people make assumptions that the company just doesn't see me in that way, but the people do. And with that, I'm attempting to find an organization that will allow me to financially excel, because as we were talking about off air, it's such a appealing life, the idea of having one income that can sustain and make it so that we can make other choices as far as the future goes. And so, like, that's why that I want to see, and wasn't still, I was very active. And here's the thing, I'm not going to be impolite. If I can find an organization that will compensate me for what I'm capable of doing, I'll be as kind as possible when the day comes when I have to tell where I'm at that a better opportunity has risen up. Like, I'm not out here trying to burn bridges or hurt feelings, but when a company thinks that I've maxed out and I think I've only just begun, well, I'm not gonna sit back and just take it. What about you, Jacob? Do you think that you waited or that you been active?
I don't know, because it's like this question. And it starts with asking for the week. I don't know if I can think of anything that happened necessarily this week And honestly, more in general, I don't think I can think of anything specifically I've done
Okay.
recently, but just like things in general, like there have been like minor things where I'm just like, I just asked a question and it's like, I shouldn't have asked that because first of all, it just made me look stupid because I knew the answer to it, or it was just a really simple answer, and I should have sat there and thought about it first.
I hope it was with somebody that the question was asked. I hope it was with somebody that is understanding.
Yes.
Because that makes a difference.
Yes. Most of the time it is. However, I have been in situations where it's not necessarily.
Oh yeah. I think we've all accidentally stuck our foot in our mouth at some point. It's oh my goodness.
And even recently, I've went to my manager and I ask him a question and I sit there right after I ask it. I'm like, man, I knew the answer to that. I shouldn't have asked that. And like I'll even tell him and he just kind of laughs. It's just whatever.
Well, I think that shows that you're mature because you can acknowledge a, in this case, very minute, but, a slip up. I was like, oh man, I made a mistake.
And that's usually what it turns out to be. It's just something like, it's just like, oh, we just kind of laugh about it and go on with our days. But
I like that.
And then, I mean, it kind of goes back to, I haven't really had any like crazy or like major decisions in my life that, or major events in my life that required, or requires not the right word for that, that like doing something in this situation would impact me very heavily.
Yes.
So to me, this is kind of like the way I thought about it was kind of, it's just a lot of life lessons or just lessons in general. Because you ask a question, you do something, and then you're like, man, I shouldn't have done that. Man, I shouldn't have asked that. It's like, okay, now I know for the next time, don't do that. Sit there and think before I speak.
Right. I like that. Think before you speak. I think that the Army really helped me with that aspect of life. So there's I don't know if it's a stereotype or if it's a stereotype because it's true, but there's a joke that they always say, well, the Army will teach you how to hurry up and wait. Because, it's like you're always in a rush to get wherever you're going, and then by the time you get there, wait before you do the next thing.
Yeah.
It tended to help people to not, I'm going to say, stress it. Because often when other people come to me and say, oh, this is a catastrophe, it's the biggest thing ever, I'm like, it's really not what you're stressing it out to be. Like just today I had somebody say, oh, it's urgent, and by the time they got to me and told me the urgent thing, I was like, oh, this wasn't urgent at all. You could have just said, I need your help, and that could have been fine. And that's all it ended up being. It was like, it was a simple conversation with simple action. But, because people tend to think very specifically about their current circumstance, people do often think that this problem is bigger than it is in the, long-term things. Well, yeah, no, I wasn't still and I wasn't quiet. I was very tested, and I feel like the test went well. Legitimately, I was told that I was smart on multiple levels, which is always nice to hear. So yeah, it was a very eye-opening week, and more specifically than the week, it's just been a very revealing time when it comes to where I stand occupationally. And it's better to know the truth than to believe a lie, or know a hard truth than to believe a comfortable lie, maybe something like that.
Yeah, no, that's true.
What is the second question?
In what areas of your life do you find it most difficult to be still?
So I can start with this
one. Go, please.
For me, it's definitely work related.
Work, yes.
Especially when it comes to like anything involving like moving up or like promotions. I'm a very impatient person. Impatient. That's an understatement, to be honest. But it's like, then I also had like, sometimes I catch myself and I have to stop and think, I'm like, okay, I'm still like really young and I'm still in a good position. Like I'm doing well for myself. I'm not. I can't complain about where I'm at, especially compared to like other people that I know.
No, I get it.
So it's like,
it's funny because I just said I was in basically the same position for the past 5 years. Well, it only was that way because I got promoted the first time in less than 4 months. And then 13 months later, I got the second promotion. And I've been steady at that for basically 5 years. I had a short stint as a little elevated, or quote unquote elevated. It was virtually lateral, not so much an actual upward mobility. Thank you for being here at Mr. Super Oz. This video is going out, and this channel only exists because I, Oz, founded Gamble Comics, which first release was Everlasting Survivors, a 68-page graphic novel called All Day Long, available now. Follow the link in the description that will take you to gamblecomics.com. While there, you can get hats, shirts, posters, much, much more, but most importantly, the story itself. You know, things are always sold one way, and then you find out it's not exactly the way that it's being presented. But while the question wasn't what I'm actually going to answer, what I will say is one of my most surprising, or surprising might be the wrong word, but I'm going to use it just for the sake of, I'm not sure what the right word is. But one of the most surprising discoveries from being rejected was the comfort that I felt both asking for and staying in prayer. So I could have been quite upset or unreceptive to the information I was given, but realistically what it did was it drove me to prayer, and with that it helped me to get closer, and I never expected that to be the case. And I will say this, and I hate to admit it because it makes me sound like my ego's too big, but maybe it is. I think that if I'd have been given the opportunity and advanced, I would have seen it as something I did, which wouldn't have been a thing to necessarily put me on my knees. It would have made me stand up and be proud, which is definitely one of the things that makes me think, that's probably why this didn't happen. Because
it took you down a peg.
Well, and by doing so, it put me in the right posture to, like I said, be tested in other ways, to be humbled, to try and branch out, and also just rely on people in prayer life. So I think that by being rejected in the place that I am, in some ways, is good, which is weird to say.
Yeah,
it's a life lesson.
Yeah, it is because it. I mean, yes, it is a life lesson, but it also makes you stop and think, and then also realize like kind of where you are.
Yes,
and it's like it kind of brings you back down to earth.
Yes.
In a good way most of the time.
No,
I mean, it's not necessarily always like you don't think it's good, but then couple weeks, couple months, whatever, you look back on it and you're like, wow, that was
and here's
a needed lesson.
And here's the other thing, because I've had people say to me, oh, you don't want to burn the bridge and you don't want to leave a body of believers. But here's the thing. I don't believe that the place that I work is why you and I, or Vincent and I, or Jacob and I, Andy, for that point, I don't think where I work is why any of us are friends.
Yeah.
Like, it's why we met, don't get me wrong. It's why we met, but it will not be what, or the only thing that keeps us all in contact. Because, let's say it ain't happening, mind you, but let's say I win the lottery tonight, right? And I'd never go back to work again. We're not going to be friends. Yeah. We're still all going to be in contact, and so, like, I don't know. I just think that sometimes people worry that, oh, you're got a knee-jerk reaction, right? Which is not the case. I need to have the ability to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And if the company doesn't see me having that ability, then I need to find somewhere that will agree with me that growth is possible. What is the third question?
Going forward, how will you challenge yourself to be still and trust God?
What I need to do, and I don't know if challenge is the right word, but what I need to keep in mind is that I don't need to be rejected, and I don't need to be passed over by deciding committees to put it all in God's hands and say, I trust that you know what's right and I don't understand anything, because that's the truth. Like, I don't really get it. Like, I thought slash still know that I could do the role, but like, I'm sure that there's better out there. I shouldn't have to wait for a bad outcome before I go to the Almighty and say, I know that you know the right answers.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact is, whatever the case is, I really, I'm just finite and fallible. So I should stop leaning on my own, I don't know, ego or intellect, whichever one it actually is.
There's a reason for everything.
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's the fact is that oftentimes I think to myself, and I've even had friends say to me that, oh, your stories you've written are as good or better than mine, and it's like, well, that doesn't matter because you made way more money than me. I think that it's an uphill climb, and the only guaranteed answer is I can't succeed if I don't keep fighting to make it happen. And the same here. It's like, yes, the company might not see what I bring to the table, but I was given the advice weeks ago, maybe more than weeks ago, maybe months ago, of leave because they won't miss you unless you go away. And I didn't, because I was like, oh, well, I know my value. They've got to see it. And I was wrong, and the person who gave me the advice was accurate, that as long as I'm there, they'll take it for granted. So I guess, yeah, I mean, challenge is the right word, and staying in prayer, staying in the Word, these are definitely the answers to how to have the right perspective on everything and not put myself first or as high in my own opinion, if you will. I mean, it's not that I need to think less of myself, I just need to think of myself less. Because if I think that, oh, I did it all, then that's wrong. Not to say that I'm incapable of doing the job that I do. I am capable. But I just need to realize that nothing is my actual doings. Like, I just need to be grateful that I woke up and I was capable of going to work, because that's definitely something I take for granted. Like, I've never not woken up, so I just think I'm going to.
Yep.
But if I look at life in the way that I need to, which is the gratitude that I have life, that I have the ability to think of these ideas, write the stories, draw the books, then it changes the way that I approach things, because it's not my own ability, but my gratitude for having the opportunity to be here and to do it, because there are people who are no longer with us all the time, and so I just need to actually be grateful for the life that I do have.
And sometimes that's all it takes, is just kind of sitting down and reminding yourself of what you do have.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, because like, we were talking before recording that, you know, looking back, it's just mind blowing how far we've come.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I appreciate you, sir,
Absolutely. Anytime.
and thank you for everything.
You're welcome.